This episode was suggested by Klein. Thank you. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is on Owen Almighty. Let's go! First up, the stats. 7 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 0 thirds, with earnings just shy of $500,000. For major races, he's been on the Kentucky Derby trail since the very beginning, finishing second in the Iroquois Stakes to Jonathan's Way, then finishing second again in the Sam F. Davis, winning the Tampa Bay Derby, and most recently coming 6th in the Bluegrass Stakes, his most disappointing performance by far. For running style, he's a stalker with great early speed. He can rest behind 1 or 2 horses if he needs to, and then pick it up right before the far turn, or, if he's fast enough, he can set his own pace and then relax, just like in the Tampa Bay Derby. No horse wanted to keep up with him, so he decided just to do things his own way, and relax, leading to a very destructive performance. But if there's a horse that's faster than him, like East Avenue in the Bluegrass Stakes, or the Sam F. Davis with John Hancock, he can rest behind them too. Although his final finishing kick really depends on one major factor, which is going to be talked about more in the weaknesses section. First, the strengths. He's won at Churchill Downs, so we know he likes the track. He has great early speed, easily the best thing about him. The way that he can dish out fast fractions like nobody's business, and can do it in a few different ways. He also has finished in the top 3 in 6 out of 7 races, which is a good strike rate. Now you might say, did you fail math class? Because he technically has finished in the top 3 5 times. Well, kind of. One of his off-the-board showings was in the Pasco Stakes, where he actually crossed the wire first, but was disqualified due to interference and placed 5th. So really, the only time that he has finished worse than 3rd in his entire career was in the Bluegrass Stakes. And now, time for the weaknesses. And it's time for the really glaring one. The Bluegrass Stakes. In that race, his first attempt at 1 1/8 miles, stretching out in distance, he finished 6th, which is atrocious, and leads to incredible suspicion of his ability to handle the distance. Even in his victories, such as in the Pasco where he got disqualified, his defeat in the Sam F. Davis, and his victory in the Tampa Bay Derby, he shortens in stride, and those races were either sprint or 1 16 miles. And then in the Bluegrass Stakes, when he stalked behind East Avenue and got alongside him, it was he who gave up. Owen Almighty faded really badly. He does not finish strong in his races, and now he's going to be asked to stretch out a full furlong more than the furthest he's ever gone, and even that previous 1 1/8 miles was already a lot for him? That's very concerning. Especially considering that originally he wasn't going to run in the Kentucky Derby. His connections originally thought that his distance capabilities weren't meant for it, and they were going to go for the Pat Day Mile, which seemed like a more appropriate spot. But then they changed their mind. Now, it's not impossible that something has changed in his abilities that suggested that he could run 1 1/4 miles, but the more likely explanation is that Derby fever took over, and they decided, why not? We have a horse who's qualified, let's give it a go. Also, no horses won the Kentucky Derby, finishing out of the top 4 in their last prep in over 60 years, and even Iron Liege never finished 6th in their final prep, who was the last to do it. So history is not on his side, and his stamina is probably one of the weakest in this field. Overall, I would say that Owen Almighty is an incredibly fast horse who might have something to say about the early fractions, but his stamina is the worst of any horse in this race. For that, I give him a C- grade. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Derby Profile, and I'll see you guys next time.